I'm wanting to do some videos, a series actually, on what books to get as a Bnei Noach who's serious in his or her Torah study. And this isn't really so much in a priority order, but I do want to start with some important ones first. The Mishneh Torah I would highly recommend getting it. This is a English translation. It has English on the left and then Hebrew on the right. It's translated by Rabbi Touger, who does a lot of translations, particularly in Chabad. And this is released by Moznaim Publishing. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but that's their little symbol right here. And this is a big set. It's 20 some, no, I think it's 18 volumes. This is Sefer Shoftim. This is the book that has the laws of Bnei Noach, the Sheva Mitzvot Bnei Noach in them, in Sefer doesn't quite say it, but just Malachim, I guess. Anyways, that's not the full name of the. So there you have the physical book here, and then you have individual like smaller books in them called like Hilchot, which are like sections. So like Hilchot Edut, which then you have Hilchot Malachim Umilchomotechem, which is the laws of kings and their wars. Laws of kings and their wars. And that's where you get the laws of the children of Noah, starting in chapter 8 with the Yafat Toar, the beautiful captive woman. Anyways, this is a set, 18 volume set. I think it's 18 volume. And on sale, you can get it for about $500 or so today. And then I think it's somewhere around $650, $700 when it's not on sale. This is a pretty good translation. The problem with this is that they don't get non-Jews translated properly. This is really important. So, for instance, let me focus there. Chapter 10. Oh, here we go. So this is a big one. In the Hebrew, it's going to say akum, which is, if you know Hebrew, akum is a acronym. It means idolater. It means oveda kochavim mazalot, the service of stars and constellations, which is basically idolatry, how it's phrased in the Mishneh Torah and just about every place really. So, for instance, like this verse, it says, the akum sha'asak b'Torah is hayv mita. The akum, the idolater that's involved in Torah, like he involves himself in Torah study, he's hayv misa, he's worthy of death. Now, asek right there is a verb that means to fully involve yourself in. It doesn't mean like a cursory study. And then it goes on to say he should only be involving in the 7 mitzvahs. Now, the problem with like this kind of translation, the reason why it's a problem is because over here he actually translates it as Gentile. The problem, as you guys probably can guess, is that not all Gentiles are idolaters. You have Bnei Noach that are obviously not idolaters, because one of the 7 mitzvahs is to refrain from idolatry, refrain from avodah zarah, strange worship. So this is how he translates. This is a problem. For instance, down here, he says we should not prevent a Gentile who desires to perform one of the Torah's mitzvot. Then he goes on and on. The problem is here, again, this isn't akum. This is Ben Noach in the Hebrew, but he translated as Gentile. There's a huge difference between a Ben Noach and an akum, and you can see my other videos about why that is. I shouldn't say why. It's pretty much given that you'd know, but there's many proofs to show that why that is a problem. The reason why is because akum, the goy, and the Ben Noach are in different categories halakhically. And in chapter 10, it actually juxtaposes the two. It says, in the Hebrew, it'll tell you that a Ben Noach can give tzedakah, and then it'll say to the Jewish people, and then later on it'll say a goy, the akum goy, can't give charity to the Jewish people. Other than that, though, it's a great read. There's very interesting footnotes. Those footnotes will take you places. You can spend a lifetime studying the whole set and going deep into the footnotes. Really, it's a wonderful experience. I highly recommend the set, but just know, because we're going to be focusing on, at least as Bnei Noach, we're going to be focusing on non-Jewish law, halachot, that you're going to have to be aware of this, and you're going to have to constantly be going over here and looking words up in the Hebrew. The thing is, you don't have to be fluent in Hebrew. You just have to kind of know nouns. So over here, when it says akum, you just have to know what an akum is and what a goy is, what a Ben Noach is, and know how to find the words. So like right here, a Ben Noach. Touger translates akum and Ben Noach both as Gentile. That's a big problem, because when you read over here about Gentile stuff, it gets highly confusing. He says Gentile this, Gentile that, and you assume he's talking just about the non-Jew, when in fact in the Hebrew it's talking about different categories. Anyways, this is like I said, it's a fairly big set. It's actually free to read online, but I would highly recommend buying it. If you're into books and not reading online, you can make your own notes easily. You can carry them to class and look them up, and it's more portable when, say, you're at somebody's house who has the same set and you guys are referencing things and talking about things. You know where to go now in the set. So looking up references is a more portable way to do that. I highly recommend getting a Mishneh Torah, though. Just the fact that it references so much Bnei Noach halacha, so many Bnei Noach, children of Noah laws. I think that's about it. Of course, if you guys don't know, it's written by the Rambam. This is his magnum opus. This is his major work. And we focus on the last book here for Bnei Noach. We focus on the last book, the last hilchot, the last sets of laws in this book. And we focus on the last, 3 chapters, 8, 9, and 10, are all laws for Bnei Noach. And then chapters 11 and 12, the last 2 chapters, are all about Mashiach and the the times of Mashiach, and it's just amazing, and that's where the whole set ends. So if you take this on a spiritual level, you can see where we are today by learning Bnei Noach, how Bnei Noach and learning the laws of Noah are so prevalent and becoming more and more prevalent. This is where we are on the time clock, the universal time clock, basically, when it comes to Mashiach and the world. we're right there at the end. We just need to get this stuff right. So I highly recommend this. It's part of a cycle. You can read this daily. You read a chapter a day. There's a cycle, or you can read 3 chapters a day, depending on what cycle you want to do. It's a very linear read too. So you start in the laws of Bnei Noach, and if you wish to do more, then I would recommend starting over at the beginning in the very first book of the set, and it starts to get into the foundations of faith and the very, very basic things within Torah observance. I think that's about it. So thank you for your time.